What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another match preview. No more cup finals anymore, are there, Sim?
Yeah,
no more cup
final,
finals. Yeah, we lost it, and
so
it's all over now.
To play now.
Yeah, just 3 friendlies left of the season. Obviously, it's at Tottenham against Wolves at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday.
The race
2
for the
p.m.
Conference League is live.
Exactly,
and well.
The race for the Conference League is on, people. But look, we need to win this game because Arsenal are only 1 point behind us.
Yeah, they are, and all of a sudden, if we don't win this game, the last 2 games being Villa and Leicester, very tough fixtures, and all of a sudden things start to get a bit hairy. It's the only thing that has stopped our season's been a disaster, but it's the only thing that's kind of any saving grace would be finishing above Arsenal, and then if that doesn't happen, then that's then we're in serious trouble anyway. But I just can't handle it. I don't want to be finishing below Arsenal.
I know how you feel. But if we do finish below Arsenal this season, the season they've had, you know what I mean? They've been in full-blown crisis all season. We've been in full-blown crisis for about half the season. So, how does this even happen?
Because we've been that bad in the second half of the season.
It's mental how bad we've been.
And, it's been all well and good making fun of Arsenal for majority of the season, but if they end up finishing above us, that will be a travesty. And we need to keep up their record of finishing above them after what they did.
It'll be 5 years this year if we do finish above them. But coming into this game, I mean, Wolves have literally nothing to play for whatsoever. They have even less to play for than us. So, I mean, what sort of vibe do you reckon Wolves be coming with? Do you reckon, they've been stuttering, haven't they, the last couple of weeks?
No, actually. They've been in quite good form.
Have they?
Yeah, they beat Brighton.
Yeah.
And then I know they lost to Burnley, but that was off the back of 2 consecutive wins. So they haven't been terrible in the past few weeks. They've actually been on decent form. They've won 3 of their last 5, so it's not awful.
That's probably one of the best forms they've been on all season, to be fair.
Probably. They haven't been as good as they have been in previous seasons.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think that obviously the injury to Jimenez has been a massive blow to them, and that's really stunted their season. Adama Traore hasn't kind of been at his best this season either. He hasn't kind of contributed to goals and assists that he did last year.
Enough baby oil on him this year, that's why.
Exactly. People keep clinging on to him. A top goal scorer is Neves and Neto with 5 goals each. So they have found goals hard to come by, but they're still a side with quality. They're still a side who have a team structure about them, and they're very, very hard to play against. Even when they lose, I know they got battered by Burnley, but usually even when they lose, it's 2-1 or 1-0. It's usually a very close game with Wolves. They're usually very, very difficult to play against. So
didn't they get battered 4-0 by Burnley the other week?
That's what I just said. Apart from that, in general, their games are fairly close.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a fairly good defence, haven't they? I think the way Nuno sets them up, I think, especially this season, definitely very solid team. Just not so much going forward. I know Pedro Neto have had a brilliant season, but going forward, apart from that, he's probably the only one, isn't he? Yeah,
I think apart from the bottom 3, they've scored the least goals. So that really is testament to how poor they've been going forward this season. Neto as well, I believe he's injured, right? I think he's been injured for a few games now. And he was their one player who was really stepping up for them this season in the front 3. He's a real talent, by the way, Pedro Neto.
He really is. I've been super impressed with him this season, really have.
He's really come along a lot this season. But unfortunately, he picked up an injury a few weeks ago. I think that ruled him out for the rest of the season. And so now, apart from him, they're relying on the likes of Fabio Silva, who's a teenager, Willian Jose, who's adjusting to a new league, and players of that ilk. So it's been very, very difficult. And Ruben Neves is a scorer of great goals, but not a great goal scorer. Doesn't get many on the score sheet. And Juan Moutinho is more of a controller midfielder instead of actually a guy who's going to get goals and assists. So they really have struggled to get the ball in the back of the net. But because of their solid defence, Conor Cody leading the back line, Rui Patricio, very solid keeper. They haven't fallen too far down the table, but they'll be disappointed being in the bottom half.
Yeah, especially with the past couple of seasons they've had, definitely. But when you look at the way Wolves set up, you've mentioned how solid they are at the back. But how can we get at them on the weekend? Where's their frailties?
Well, look, Semedo is struggled, I feel, this season in terms of Matt Doherty was very effective going forward, and he was very effective getting to the back post and getting on the end of things and being a threat. Semedo hasn't really done that this season, and defensively he's been a bit all over the place, to be honest. And despite having a lot of pace, positionally and awareness-wise, he's very poor. So he's definitely an avenue we can definitely combat. Neves and Moutinho very good on the ball technically, but are not the best midfielders when that's why they benefit from playing their back three, because those midfielders together, if they're not going to play Dendoncker in there, can definitely be physically dominated in the centre. So that's definitely as well another element which we can dominate them. But other than that, they're a very solid team. They don't have many obvious weaknesses. It's just they're as a team structure, they know exactly what they're doing defensively. They know where to put their defenders. They know everyone knows their set job. So they don't have many clear weaknesses defensively. It's just going forward, they struggle badly. So if you get a goal, you're always likely to get points off them.
Do you reckon Levy will be looking at Nuno as a potential target for us for our new manager?
I think he would have been last season. But I think that if style of play was if style of play is a big issue, so I keep saying, then Nuno isn't the answer, because he's a very pragmatic defensive manager. So they have last season, when they had their attacking players in the team, they can play some nice football at times. When they have Podence in there and Neto and Jimenez and them lot.
You can't underestimate how much of a loss Raul Jimenez is, because what a player he is. He's such a brilliant player.
Great
I would take him at Spurs all day long.
100%. But yeah, I don't think he's the answer. I do not think he's the answer, because I don't think as a team they create enough chances for the quality they have. For example, compared to a team like Brighton, who play a lot better football and are much more in control of games than Wolves are. So as much as I think Nuno's a good manager, I don't think he's the right fit to be replacing Mourinho.
Interesting, and they are good buddies, aren't they, Nuno and Jose? But look, back onto the game, do you think this is a game that's going to be suited for the likes of Gareth Bale?
Not particularly, no. I think with Wolves playing that back three, I think, and also back three, which can turn into a back five, I think he might struggle to find space, and I think he might struggle to make a real impact. And then on the flip side, they're going to have a wing back and usually a wide forward as well, whether he Podence or whoever it is. So he is going to have to, when they play that system, yes, if you stay out the pitch, you can find space in between the wing back and the mid centre back and the left centre back. Sorry, there can be space had there, but it does mean that their left wing back is probably going to get a free role in this game if Bale starts. That's what it seems to me, and that is a problem, especially if it's someone like Nouri, who's a young fullback who's had a decent season, not the best, but I've
been impressed with him
at times. I think he had a great start, but he hasn't kind of carried it on.
He is very young though.
If he's playing left wing back, then he's one that can definitely get some joy in that position, and that's something that we're going to have to be wary of in this game.
Yeah, most definitely. If we do win this game, going into the last couple of games, do you reckon we're chasing this Europa League spot, or do you reckon it's be too hard to get there? Because there are a lot of teams fighting now.
No, if we win, we at least we can take it to the final day. I think if we win this game, and then in midweek we got an important game against Villa, we have to keep fighting for that top six. We have to just keep going, because look, at the end of the day, it's only 2 points between us and West Ham. The truth is, West Ham have a lot more to fight for, because they're probably thinking, I mean, top four is pretty much done for them, but they're going to keep fighting as long as it's mathematically possible, because they're the underdogs in this situation. But look, the reality is there is only 2 points, and West Ham, as good as they've been, they can easily drop points in the next 3 games. So I think it is open.
They've only won 1 out of their last 4, and they've lost 3 of those.
Exactly. So it is open for us to get that top 6 if we stay on a good run. But whether this team is motivated to get back in the Europa League, having chucked it away pretty much this season when we were 2-0 up against Zagreb, we chucked it away as if it wasn't important. So whether this team is motivated to get back in the Europa League is a thing that we have to wait and see. I'm not convinced.
Do you see West Ham as the only one there that's there for the taking above us?
Yep.
I believe, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I think Liverpool have started to find some form now. I think Chelsea, I can't see us finishing above Chelsea, no way. So I think West Ham is probably the only one. It really is. But looking back on the game, what is your score prediction?
Unfortunately, I said 1-1 in my preview, and I think I'm going to stick to that. I know Wolves don't have much to play for, but I think they are a solid team. I can see them being motivated to get a result in this game and end the season well. And I just question whether there's going to be enough fight in this team to really give everything to get the win in this game, and that's what it's going to need. Otherwise, I can see it being a draw. I don't think we'll lose, but I can see this being an uneventful draw.
Have they beaten us the last 2 times at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or at home?
Last season they beat us 3-2, and the season before they beat us 3-1. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is that since they've come up? They've been up 2 years, right?
2 years ago was at Wembley,
and it was 1-1.
Last season,
1-1.
No, Wembley was a win for Wolves, 3-1.
3-1. Bloody. So we haven't beaten them at home for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's mad. But I think that when I look at it, I see that it's a game with no pressure for Tottenham. I think all the pressure's gone from us this season in terms of what we really want to achieve this season. I think that's sometimes when Tottenham can really pull out a result when there's no pressure on. So that's why I've gone for 2-1 to Spurs. I think it'll be a tightly contested game, but I think that we'll just about nick it with Wolves' team with absolutely nothing to play for and the pressure completely being off Spurs. So I think that we will nick it, and we owe them a win at home as well. So I'm going 2-1. My brother's going 1-1. Let me know your score prediction in the comment section below. That is our match preview. Come and join us on Sunday for all the watch along, the pre-match pump up, the watch along, and the post-match fan show.
There's a protest this weekend as
well. 2 protests this weekend. One before the Wolves game on Sunday, and the big one which is on Saturday at 12 o'clock. So tune in. We'll be live streaming from the protest. So thank you for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.